How I boosted my productivity in just 7 days, and you can too. Are you ready to boost your productivity and get more done without adding extra hours to your day? Well, buckle up because I'm going to show you how I transformed my week with simple, effective tips. And trust me, these aren't your run-of-the-mill suggestions. These are game changers. We're talking less stress, more control, and, best of all, more time for the things that matter most. Sounds good? Let's dive in. Why does productivity matter? We all have 24 hours in a day, right? But why does it seem like some people are crushing their goals while the rest of us are just surviving? The answer lies in how we use our time, not how much we have. Think of productivity like this. Imagine you're running a race. Would you rather sprint randomly in every direction or move purposefully toward the finish line? That's exactly what productivity is. It's about making sure your efforts move you toward your goals, not just burning out by constantly running. Step 1. Prioritize like your life depends on it. Let's get one thing straight. Not all tasks are created equal. If you're spending an hour on a tiny, low-impact task when something crucial is waiting for your attention, you're spinning your wheels. This is where prioritization steps in like a superhero with a cape. How do you do it? The Pareto principle, or the 80-20th rule, suggests that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. So, ask yourself, which tasks will bring me the most progress? Once you know that, laser focus on those tasks first. Here's a personal story. I used to start my day answering emails and ticking off small tasks just to feel productive. But by lunchtime, my major projects were barely touched. When I flipped my routine and tackled the heavy-hitting tasks first, I finished them faster, with more focus, and suddenly, all the little things didn't seem so overwhelming. Step 2. The magic of taking breaks. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Taking breaks. Isn't that counterproductive? But here's the twist. Taking breaks actually boosts productivity. Sounds weird, right? But there's science to back this up. Our brains aren't built to focus for hours on end. The ideal focus time is around 90 minutes before mental fatigue sets in. This is where the Pomodoro technique comes in handy. Work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. Rinse and repeat. In fact, one of the most successful people I know swears by it. They say, the secret to getting more done is stepping away and recharging. That 5-minute break could be the difference between slogging through a task and crushing it with laser focus. Step 3. Become a stop doing mastermind. This is the tip that nobody talks about but can dramatically improve your life. Setting a stop doing goal. We're all told to set, to do, goals, what we need to start, complete, achieve. But what about the stuff that's draining your time and not getting you anywhere? Think of your productivity like a sinking ship. You could be rowing like crazy, but if there's a hole in the boat, you're not going anywhere. Here's a trick that worked for me. Each week, identify at least one activity that isn't helping you. It could be spending too much time on social media, overcommitting to meetings, or handling tasks that aren't yours to handle. Once I made a rule to stop wasting time on things that weren't pushing me closer to my goals, my stress dropped, my focus improved, and, surprise, I had more energy to devote to what actually mattered. Step 4. Morning people versus night owls. Does it matter? Let's clear up a common misconception. You don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. to be productive. Yes, we've all heard about those miracle mornings, where people get more done before breakfast than most do all day. But here's the reality, it's not about when you start, it's about how you start. If you're a night owl, embrace it. The key is to find your personal productivity sweet spot, whether that's 6 a.m. or 10 p.m., and then structure your high-impact tasks around it. The reason people think morning routines are magical is because they often eliminate distractions, setting the tone for the rest of the day. But if you get the same focus at night, lean into it. Here's a question. Can you be productive without being a morning person? Absolutely. The trick is to work with your natural rhythms, not against them. Step 5. Small adjustments. Big wins. People often get overwhelmed thinking they need to overhaul their entire lives to be more productive. The truth? Small adjustments can lead to big results. Let's take meal prepping as an example. Instead of spending 30 minutes every day figuring out what to eat, you batch cook on Sundays, saving you hours throughout the week. Or instead of responding to every email the second it hits your inbox, you block out 2 specific times in the day to check them, cutting down on constant interruptions. It's not about making extreme changes. It's about creating systems that save you time and mental energy. Start small, adjust as you go, and you'll be amazed at how quickly your productivity skyrockets. Step 6. The psychology of productivity. Feeling in control. Here's a juicy secret. The more productive you feel, the less stressed you become. It's all about that sense of control. When you know you're making real progress, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed. It's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece that fits brings you closer to seeing the bigger picture. This feeling of control is addictive. Once you get a taste of it, you won't want to go back to the chaos of disorganized tasks. And trust me, others will notice too. You'll be the person who seems to have it all together, even if you're still figuring it out as you go. Step 7. The ripple effect. How productivity spills into every part of your life. Here's what nobody tells you about productivity. It doesn't just affect your work. It spills into everything else. When you're more productive, you suddenly have extra time for things that make life more enjoyable. Imagine having the time to finally pick up that hobby you've been putting off, or being able to sit down for a real conversation with friends or family. Productivity isn't about doing more for the sake of doing more. It's about making room for the things that make you feel more. You'll be amazed at how these small productivity hacks can free up time for things that bring you joy, like spending time with loved ones, reading that book you've been putting off, or simply enjoying a peaceful cup of coffee in the morning. The clever twist. Productivity myths debunked. We need to talk about the myths surrounding productivity. For example, do you really need to multitask to be productive? Spoiler alert, no. In fact, multitasking is the quickest way to burn out. Focusing on one task at a time is far more effective. Or how about the idea that you need to work more hours to get more done? Another myth. It's not about how long you work, but how smart you work. When you implement these tips, you'll realize that getting more done in less time is possible, and even easy. Final thoughts, small changes, big results. I challenge you to pick just one of these tips and start today. Whether it's prioritizing, setting a stop doing goal, or simply taking breaks, you'll notice the difference immediately. And once you start seeing those small wins, you'll want to keep going. Here's the clever twist to this whole productivity thing. It's not about squeezing more tasks into your day. It's about squeezing more life into your time. So, are you ready to transform your week, your month, or even your life? Start with these simple tips and see how much more control you'll gain, how much less stress you'll feel, and how much more joy you can bring into your everyday routine. Thanks for sticking with me through this productivity journey. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your own productivity hacks in the comments below. Who knows? Your tip could be someone else's game changer.